Oops, sorry. Hello, I hope you're all doing good. There's an article in Beachhead that I'd like to talk about today from their February 2017, and that's where we are. Beachhead is very grassroots. It's been around for quite a while. It's run off of donations and whatever they make out of advertisers. It definitely has a left tilt, which I'm really disappointed in their back page. It's all anti-Trump. It's uncalled for, this whole anti-Trump. It's just, we live in a nation where every 4 years we vote for leaders. And when you look back on history, every 4 to 8 years we switch parties. It just is what it is. So stop all this hissy fit, stop all the rioting and violence, and whoever is driving around Venice with abort Trump in the first trimester, you need to repent and take that down. That's nasty. Do you have any idea what abortion is? Do you know what it looks like in the first trimester? Here's a picture, 2 of them. Abortion is when you cut a human up in little itty bitty pieces and spit it out. And this is an abortion in the first trimester. We're already formed. We already have feet and hands. Seriously, murder is not the solution. Especially this president wants to make this nation better. And he can. He's proven that he's a winner. He's proven he can make money versus, creating massive debt. I mean, a lot of people are for him. And a lot of people were not for Obama, yet we respected his 8 years. And it's time that you respect the change, because this is what this nation is about. We change leadership every 4 to 8 years. This isn't the end of the world. So let's begin the next 4 years peacefully. Okay, so Beachhead. And this is about Snapchat. Save Dogtown, get Snapchat out. Thank you, Mark, for writing this. I really enjoyed reading it. I was wondering what was going on. I've noticed the last couple weeks, Dogtown is feeling far more like a ghost town, which is really creepy. Especially Venice has this really great vibe. Which, yes, it can be very harsh. It's not as harsh as it was from what I hear. I know people who have long roots there, who grew up there, and it is calmer, but it's still it's a great vibe. And I guess you do still have to be careful. I know people have been beaten up there, but I love the murals, and I love on the days when there's a lot of quiet days there. Every now and then people are like, oh no, it's really loud. It's like, it may be loud in your head, and if you would shut down your radio, like, you would see everyone else is being really quiet. And it's just nice when you go there when there can be hundreds of people and everyone's just like really quiet and they're all vibing and they're all chatting away, and you have the ocean like waves in the background, and it's just really nice. And I like all the murals. I really like it. I like everything by Never. It's nice, but it's really changing. And the latest significant change is coming from Snapchat. They bought a ton of property in Venice. They're still looking at buying even more still. They have these guards that they've placed throughout Venice, especially along Speedway. And I would really love to know, with all the races in LA, and LA is very diverse, how every single guard is black. That's just really odd that you could hire that many people and they're all the exact same color, especially in LA. But yeah, it's creepy. And they're not only harassing the homeless. I mean, they're even telling people who live in Venice are not allowed to walk on public streets or walk down the alleyways. And it's just sad how it's changing. And you see business after business. And I've known business owners, and they've either had to downsize or go out of business. I've read quite a few articles, and it's sad. Or they just move. They move out of Venice and go into LA. And I know one street that quite a few have moved off of and gone into LA is Abbot Kinney. And but it doesn't matter. It's everywhere in like Venice and the side of Santa Monica that butts up against Venice. Like everything from, what is that, like Bay to Washington. It's just, there's definitely a change, and it's sad because there's definitely a vibe, and these new places that are coming in are so sterile and generic, and boring. It's just like, ugh. Like, I don't even want to walk into these places. It's just, and even, what is it? Over on Pico, they had Tommy's that were bought out, and Tommy's had a really pretty mural. It was a little bit peculiar, but I really liked it. But, oh, that creepy coffee place with the chick with her legs curl up around her head, they went in and just painted right over it. And that's what's been happening time and again. It's like, they paint over stuff. There was one building that's tied to Jeff Ho, and, they even made it a landmark because the owner wanted to rip it down and turn it into like a big complex for people to live in. And even though they saved the building, the business that was there, and tied pretty strong to Jeff. It wasn't Jeff's anymore, but still, you know, it was in that what he's involved with as part of that. But yeah, there's new businesses and they have dogtown in the name, which is like so boring. It's like you have no ties to actual dogtown. The guy or the company that was there before did, and it's just boring. It's really sad when I'm not only seeing it in Venice. I mean, it's in America. It's city after city where these people are moving in, and people no longer move in to become a part of the community. They are moving in to overtake it and reject everything that it stands for, which is really sad. And I mean, seriously, Snapchat and all the rest of you, especially tech people with your billions, you know what, if you want a cult, why didn't you go out to the desert, buy up a bunch of, you know, desert empty land by Lancaster and wherever else, and build a creepy little cult, put a big wall around yourself, bring your guards out with you, and call it a life. Like, leave us alone. Like, why would you come pick Venice of all places? It's just, and you know, you have enough money. Heck, you could make your own ocean out there. Like, it just sucks. It's really sad to see. And just that, I know a guy who lives on the streets, and they're like dealing with a lot. He wanted to go to bed, and it's winter time. You're really not supposed to fall asleep or, you know, make camp until after 9, but he was tired. It's dark out, and a guy from one of the houses came out with a flashlight, just bit his head off and told him to get gone. And this is just the culture that's being brought in, is you're not welcome. If you don't have the exact same amount of money as us, you're not welcome. Get gone. We don't want anyone here that isn't as rich as me. Again, where is the love and tolerance that the left is always talking about? Where's your love for diversity? Here you have Venice with a whole mix of all these people. It's a beautiful chance to, like, you know, practice what you preach, and yet, as usual, you know, you just don't do what you preach, and you drive everyone out and just make it really divisive and ugly. And it's really sad, because Venice it's a nice place. There's a lot of things I like about it. And I know up north, like San Francisco, recently, like, you know, the techies are all like, oh, we need to build more shelters. And I've heard reports where they're like giving homeless people money to get out of town, and, like, you know, give them enough money to take a bus fare or plane, whatever, to someplace else. That's not solving the problems. Shelters aren't solving the problems. Their absolute intolerance to anyone who has less money than them is really unacceptable, and they really need to be called out on it. And I realize, you know, you want your community to be safe and quiet. But here's the thing. If you do have homeless people in your community, and I'm not saying you have to accept everyone, which is really ironic, because, you know, right now we're dealing with the Muslims and the delay, not a ban, but a delay. And everyone's saying we need to accept the Muslims even if they are part of ISIS and want to destroy us. Why can't you accept your fellow citizens who don't want to destroy you? If the homeless are being peaceful and quiet, and they're not robbing you, not beating you up, why can't you accept us? If you're willing to accept these people who are willing to behead you? Why can't you accept your own citizens who just want a safe, quiet place to park and lay down and like sleep for a while? I'd really like, it's such a double standard. And I do realize like the whole not in my backyard movement, and I know what that's like. I've been on the flip side of the coin. I have. But we need to be more open-minded. That's the solution, is being open-minded and accepting people who don't have as much money as you, and as long as they're not causing problems and their existence isn't a problem. Now, if they're being loud, if they're being violent, if they're harassing you, that's a problem, and yeah, you need to speak up. But if they're not, well, then you need to practice what you preach and tolerate others. Okay, well, you have a good one. Bye-bye.